Hi everyone, Andy here from Mainly Manly Stuff. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this video and it's been in the making for a while now, but finally here it is, my big true wireless sport earbuds shootout with all the biggest names in the game such as Sony, Jabra, Bose, Jaybird and Klipsch. So everyone take a deep breath, load up on carbs as we are going to be here for a while. Before we get into the details of each earbud, let's see what all of them have in common. Most importantly, all of the buds were designed with the physically active people in mind, which means that they are all waterproof to some degree, and they all have certain design elements that help with the fit and comfort during a workout. They are all of premium quality and built to the highest standards, no exceptions there. Oh, and they all use USB-C for charging and have Bluetooth 5.0 or better. I know there are plenty other earbuds which could have qualified for this review based on these criteria alone, but after a thorough research and a lot of testing, I decided to include these 5 pairs in this test. And now, let's see our contenders one by one. First, there are the Bose Sport earbuds. These medium to large size buds weigh in at 6.75 grams each and they come in a massive case. The Bose earbuds are IPX4 rated, which means only a basic protection against sweat and splashes. Despite their size, they are very comfortable to wear and the fit is tight and secure thanks to the oval-shaped ear tips, which also have these integrated wings on them. You can choose from 3 different sizes, but even though the fit is good, you won't get much in terms of passive noise isolation and you won't find any active noise cancelling feature on this model either. The Bose Sport earbuds will last about 5 hours with one charge and the total playtime is only 15 hours with the case, which puts them right at the bottom of the list in terms of total battery life. It's not good, especially considering the fact that they are the most recent earbuds of them all. Bose only started selling them a couple of weeks ago and there is this huge case which they could have used to store more juice in it. To make up for it a little, the case offers 15 minutes quick charge, which can give you up to 2 hours of use, which is more than you get from the others, so at least there is that. You can get a pair of the Bose Sport earbuds for just under €200 or dollars, and there is a 90-day return guarantee on the official Bose website, which is way more than the usual 30 days. Next up are the Jaybird Vistas, which are the only ones that made their way from last year's shootout into this year's video. It's mainly because Jaybird is the only one that haven't updated their 2019 model yet, but honestly, there is not much that really needs to be updated, and I've been using the Vistas as my go-to sport earbuds for a year now, and they are still going strong. The battery life is very similar to that of the Bose, as there is 6 hours in the buds and 10 hours in the case, making up a total of 16 hours. And there is a 5 minutes quick charge which gives you 1 hour use time. So it's not the best and it's definitely something I would expect to be upgraded in the future models, but the Vistas deliver this battery life in a much smaller case than the Bose, and the buds are much smaller too. And yet, they are very durable and well built, which they have proved day in and day out in the last year or so. The Vistas weigh 6 grams each, and thanks to their low-profile design, they sit nicely and comfortably in your ears. They look a bit boring and maybe less fancy than the others, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are 3 pairs of combined ear tips and fins for you to choose from. The fit is snug and secure, but the passive noise isolation is only okay, and there is no active noise cancelling on board here. The buds are IPX7 rated, which means that you can even submerge them into water and they will be fine, so obviously a little sweat or rain won't hurt them either. The Jaybird Vista is the cheapest and oldest model in the bunch, yet they keep delivering the good stuff. Our next contender is the Sony WF-SP800N. These are the largest and heaviest buds with a weight of 9.8 grams each. The case is one of the biggest too, but again the build quality is impeccable. And at least the bigger size comes with a better battery life this time, as the Sony buds can last 9 hours with active noise cancelling on and 13 hours with ANC off. And the case can double it, so the total battery life is somewhere between 18 to 26 hours, depending on your use of the customizable active noise cancelling, which we will talk about more in a minute. But even if you turn the ANC off altogether for whatever reason, you still get a pretty good seal and a very efficient passive noise isolation. If you run out of juice, then 10 minutes of quick charge will give you 60 minutes of use. The SP800s are IP55 rated, so they are not only protected against sweat and splashes, but they are dust-proof as well. Despite the big size, the buds sit in your ears securely and they are comfortable to wear. Running and exercising shouldn't be a problem, but that can be said about all 5 earbuds. Of course, your individual experience might vary, as comfort and fit depends largely on your own ears and what you use the earbuds for. I had no trouble running, spinning, lifting weights and doing calisthenics or yoga with any of the earbuds, except for maybe the Jabras, but quickly back to the SP800s, there are 4 different ear tips and 2 separate fins for you to choose from, giving everyone a good chance to find a tight fit. The Sony cost around €200 or dollars. Next is the Jabra Elite Active 75T. These buds are the tiniest of them all and their case is very pocket-friendly too. The buds weigh only 5.5 grams each and they have a very low profile. Designing such a small package didn't stop the Jabra engineers from squeezing a lot of juice into the case. There is 28 hours of use available in total and the buds themselves have a 7-hour playtime on their own. It's mighty impressive, especially for their size. On top of all that, the version I got can be charged wirelessly with any QI certified charger. And as with the others, there is quick charge as well, which gives you enough power for 1 hour of use in 15 minutes. The Jabras are comfortable to wear, and if you find the right way to put them in your ears, the fit can be very secure and you won't have trouble with the earbuds falling out of your ears, as it happened to me during my original review. But I didn't have any problems with the fit this time, so that's reassuring. There are 3 different sized ear tips in the box, and these buds are the only ones that come without any fins or wings, but I don't think you are going to miss them after all. The Elite Active 75Ts are IP57 rated, so they are dust and waterproof. Based on my experience, they are very durable indeed, and they provide a very good seal with great passive noise isolation. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that there is active noise cancelling now as well, which was delivered through a software update just before I concluded this review. So heads off to Jabra for this free update, which makes their whole package a bit more compelling. The earbuds cost €240 or dollars with wireless charging enabled, but you can get them for $200 if you don't need that feature. And our 5th player is the Klipsch T5 Mark II True Wireless Sport McLaren Edition. These buds have a long name, but their size is only medium and they weigh around 6 grams each. Their case, however, is a different story. It's a large case for sure, but it's the most secure of them all with a latch to lock the buds in securely. The buds are dust and waterproof with an IP67 rating, and that comes as no surprise at this stage, but their case is also IP67 rated, which is unique amongst these earbuds. The aesthetics of the case is a subject of personal taste, but I like the McLaren orange and the carbon fiber a lot. What I don't like though is the scratch marks on the hard glossy plastic. All the other cases use soft plastic, some of them even have a nice rubber coating which makes them less prone to scratch marks, and that might be a better option in the long run. Don't get me wrong, the Klipsch case is quite indestructible in general, but those scratch marks don't look any good. But we are not done with the case yet, as it can be charged wirelessly. And you even get a charging pad in the box, but if you want to use the USB-C cable, you have to open the lid as the charging port is hidden in there. That's the price you have to pay for the case being watertight. The T5 Mark IIs can deliver the best battery life in the group. The buds will last about 8 hours, with an extra 24 hours of charge in the case. This is a total of 32 hours, which makes them a clear winner in the battery department. The Klipsch also bests the others when it comes to passive noise isolation, as they provide such a good seal, especially with the ear wings on. It's a great feature to have, as the Klipsch have no active noise cancelling. And there is another category which the McLaren edition buds come out on top of, and that is the number of accessories that come with the buds in the box. Beside the charging pad, you also get 6 pairs of silicone ear tips plus 1 pair of memory foam tips and 3 separate snug fit earrings, which can make the charging process a bit complicated and cause connection issues as well, but I'm not going to get into that now. Watch my detailed review here if you'd like to learn more about that. But all those extras come with a price, and I mean it literally, as the Klipsch McLaren edition buds cost $280, and that makes them the most expensive of the bunch. If you are still with me, then let's move on to connection. This is the one area where you will find no major differences, but it's still important to talk about. So all earphones use Bluetooth 5.0 except for the Bose, which has the 5.1 version on board, but that doesn't really come with any real advantages in everyday use, or at least I couldn't see any. All of the buds can be paired and used easily with any sort of smart devices. I tried and used phones with both Android and iOS, tablets, smartwatches and my MacBook Pro as well, and found no problems with pairing and connection whatsoever. Signals are generally strong and stable. Watching videos and of course listening to music presented no problems and issues at all. As I said, no major differences here, but there are 3 things that are worth mentioning. First, the codecs. All buds support AAC and SBC, but the only one that uses the higher quality aptX codec as well is the Klipsch T5 Mark II. And second, none of the earbuds can connect to 2 devices at the same time except for the Jabra Elite Active 75T, which can be used with a computer and a phone simultaneously. You can listen to music or watch YouTube on your laptop, and when a phone call comes in, the buds switch to your phone and then back to the computer when you hang up. It works smoothly without any hiccups. And third, there is the independent use, aka the single bud mode. The Klipsch, the Sony and the Jaybird support single bud mode, while the Bose and the Jabra allow you to use the right earbud only on its own, so it doesn't really qualify as single bud mode. When it comes to phone calls, my favorites are the Klipsch with good noise cancelling and full-bodied easy to understand voices. The Jabra has low noise levels too, but the voices sound a bit thin and veiled compared to the Klipsch. The Sony has very clear voices, but it comes at the expense of high background noise levels. The Bose has quite some noise as well, and the voices sound a bit glassy, and the Jaybird Vista delivers an average-only performance in terms of noise and clarity, but they are still good enough to make phone calls in most situations. There is no clear winner here as far as connectivity goes, because let's see the Klipsch for example. They excel in phone call quality and they bring aptX to the table along with single bud mode, but they also have some annoying issues, such as you can never be sure whether the buds disconnect from your phone when you put them in the case, or if they are connected or even turned on when you take them out. All the others are much more reliable and consistent in that regard. And there are the Jabras, which are the only ones to support multi-point use and deliver an excellent phone call quality, but they neither have the aptX codec on board, nor they support single bud mode, and there is this constant hiss coming from the left bud regardless of the settings. The Sony, the Jaybird and the Bose have no outstanding features, but they have no obvious issues either. But it's easier to see the differences and pick a clear winner when it comes to the physical controls, but let's see what each of the buds has to offer here. The earbuds can be split into 2 groups. First, there are the ones with actual buttons. The Klipsch, the Jabra and the Jaybird belong in this group. However, the Sony and the Bose both use touch-sensitive interfaces on their buds. Of these 2, I prefer the touch controls on the SP800s, as they offer more functionality and more custom options too. The Bose is very limited in that regard, as you can only use the right earbud to control play, pause, phone calls and the voice assistant. You have to enable the shortcut feature in the app to be able to skip tracks or have a battery status update announced when you touch the left earbud. And that's all. No volume controls at all, and there is only a proximity sensor on the right earbud, which triggers the auto pause play function, while Sony has sensors on both earbuds. Sony also has a lot more features available through the touch controls. Volume, play pause, phone call and voice assistant controls are all there, along with ambient mode controls. The one small problem with that is that not all the functions are available at the same time. You have to choose which ones you prefer using on a daily basis and set up your buds in the app accordingly. For example, you either have ambient modes or volume controls, but not the 2 together. It's a shame, as without this limitation, the Sony would be a clear winner of this category. Other than that, the touch controls work really well even when wearing a hat, which is more than impressive and surprising at the same time, as I did not expect them to work under such conditions at all. The Bose Sport earbuds didn't surprise me, however, as I struggled to make them work with a hat on. Of course, the other 3 with actual buttons had no problem with me wearing a hat. Well, the Klipsch has some funky buttons to begin with, and I don't like them at all as they are hard to press and you get no proper feedback whatsoever, but at least they are packed with functions. Volume, track, phone calls and voice assistant controls are all on offer here, and you can switch transparency mode on and off using the left earbud, but as I said, I had a hard time using them, especially when running. The Klipsch doesn't have proximity sensors, so there is no auto play pause function either. The Jaybird Vista delivers almost all the functions and configuring options you can wish for, except for hear-through modes and auto play pause. The buttons give you a tactile feedback and work 1,000 times better than the ones on the Klipsch. They are relatively easy to use, even with a hat on. But the best are the controls on the Jabra, with the same functions as the Jaybird and the Sony combined, but without any restrictions and limitations in terms of customization. With hear-through modes, the auto play pause function and the recently added active noise cancelling, the feature list is full, and I can hardly imagine you would need anything else. So again, hats off to Jabra for their controls. The others should learn a trick or two from them. So far I only touched upon the companion apps, but now we dig in a bit deeper as I find the app support a key feature of the true wireless earbud experience, and fortunately most manufacturers started to take their job seriously too. And there are some feature-rich smartphone apps available for both Android and iOS these days. But let me start with the 2 most disappointing apps, and those are the Klipsch Connect and the Bose Music apps. They both offer software updates, quick start guides and some basic settings. In the Bose app you can turn in-ear detection on and off for autoplay pause and set up the shortcut function for the left earbud. But that's it. No other custom controls or any sort of EQ settings. Not that the Bose Sport earbuds need much EQing, but more about the sound quality in a minute. Onto the Klipsch Connect app, at least there is an EQ function with presets and custom settings too. You can also turn transparency mode on and off, but you can do it on the earbuds themselves too, so it kind of makes no sense to have it in the app, especially after you realize that there are no further configuring options or settings at all. Things improve rapidly when we have a look at the Sony Headphones app. There you can find loads of settings, custom options, EQ presets and manual EQ settings. You can fine-tune the active noise cancelling and select different ambient sound modes. The adaptive sound control gives you different settings for different scenarios, which can either be activated manually or automatically based on your location. You can turn auto play pause on and off and configure the touch controls, and even with the limitations I mentioned before, it's quite a powerful feature. As an extra, you can set up the earbuds for the new 360 Reality Audio format as well. In my detailed review, I talk about why I find it rather gimmicky though, so you can watch the whole video here if you are interested. Moving on to the Jaybird app, it takes a bit of a different direction than the others. It has almost all the features of the Sony app, including the EQ settings and configurable controls, how-to guides and software updates, but it has some unique features too. One is the Find My Butt function, which can help you find the earbuds based on their previous location if you ever misplace them. But what's even more interesting is the community aspect of the Jaybird app. You can not only listen to music through the app with a Spotify premium subscription, but you can also create and share playlists and your own EQ settings with others. Trying out others' personal EQ settings is a fun experience too, and there are special workout playlists curated by Jaybird as well. And there is an app which has a lot of features, settings and custom options, and that's the Sound Plus app from Jabra. For starters, there is the My Sound feature, which will tailor the sound of the buds to your hearing after running some test tones. And there is the new active noise cancelling feature, which can also be tweaked to your liking, and you can also set up different scenarios called moments, where you can use predefined settings for noise cancelling and EQ. And there is more. You can set up the auto play pause function and tell the earbuds when to go to sleep mode. The side tone function allows you to hear yourself during a phone call, and you can set up how loud you hear your own voice. You can even EQ your phone calls by adding more bass or treble to others' voices. Quick start guides and software updates are there too, of course. The Find My Jabra function does what you think it does. It's actually the same as the Find My Butt feature in the Jaybird app. And the fully configurable controls are just the icing on the cake. So as you can see, there is nothing else you could ask for in the Jabra Sound Plus app, so the Elite Active 75Ts win this round as well. And you might think at this stage that it's going to be an easy win for the Jabras, but it's not that simple, because there is one major topic left to be discussed, and that is sound quality. This is something I personally take very seriously, and it is a decisive factor in my evaluation of any earbud. So after multiple long listening sessions with different quality streams from Tidal and Spotify, using Android and iOS phones, smartwatches and laptops with different codecs and compression settings, I can say that I have a very clear opinion on the sound of each and every single one of the earbuds. Again, it's just my opinion and there is nothing scientific about it, and I did not do any measurements either. The followings are simply based on my own experience and my personal taste. So unfortunately, it is the sound quality where the Jabra Elite Active 75T falls short of the others. And not just by a hair, but by a lot actually. No custom EQ or personalization can make up for the lacking sound of the Jabras. Their mid-range is basically non-existent, all you can hear is bass and treble. Some of you will love it, especially the excess amount of bass which delivers loads of energy and punch, but this is a sound signature I never liked. The highs are not too detailed either, but at least there is no listening fatigue even after long runs. But what I cannot get over is the hollow, recessed mid-range. There is no life, no separation, no sound stage and no dimensions in the presentation. And unfortunately, there is not much any EQ can do to help with that either. Next up are the Sony WF-SP800Ns with their bass-heavy sound. But this time, bass-heavy does not mean bass only, as there are details and life in the mids and highs too. Actually, after a bit of tweaking in the EQ settings, you can get quite an enjoyable sound. The highs are smooth without hard edges, however the sound could use a bit more spark and air, but at least it's not fatiguing to listen to the earbuds for longer periods of time. They are perfect for workouts because they deliver loads of energy in the bass, yet they do not want to dominate the rest of the sound. If you are looking for something with a more neutral sound signature so you can tweak it to your liking, then the Jaybird Vista might be your best bet. I would go as far as to call them outright flat sounding, but with a little bit of EQing you can bring out all the energy and spark you might need for a good workout. At the same time, the Jaybirds can sound very refined and airy, therefore they are more suitable for casual or even more serious music listening than the Sonys or the Jabras. The Klipsch T5 Mark IIs deliver a very balanced and energetic sound. The bass is tight and controlled, but it could use a bit more punch. The mids are good, but they could benefit from a bit more energy and life in the vocals. And there is the extra energy in the highs which makes the sound exciting, but it can get a bit too much too soon if you start pushing the volume up. And that's the most obvious when you use lower quality or highly compressed music. I ran some tests both metaphorically and literally using my Garmin Forerunner 745, and I found that due to the limited storage and to speed up the syncing process with Spotify, Garmin must have opted for using some very low bitrate, highly compressed MP3s on their watches, and you get a questionable musical experience as a result. The Klipsch sounded very harsh and the Jaybirds sounded thin. Actually, it was the Sony and the Jabra that sounded rather smooth thanks to their bass-heavy default sound, which made up for the lack of bass coming from the watch, if that makes any sense. But none of the earbuds could deliver what they are really capable of when playing music from the watch. And since we are talking about sport earbuds here, some of you might consider using them with a sport watch as well, so you better lower your expectations even with these premium headphones. But let's not forget to talk about the Bose sport earbuds, which sounded decent enough even with the smartwatch. But a proper quality stream can make them really sing and shine. It was obvious the first time I put them in my ears that these buds are outstanding in terms of sound quality. Bass is snappy and dynamic. It has texture and layers that no other true wireless buds have. Mids are sweet, full of life and detail. So are the high frequencies, and they also deliver spark and air without ever getting harsh. But what I find the most appealing about their sound is the large space and the multidimensional sound stage they can create. Again, none of the earbuds can come even close to this sort of a musical performance. EQ or no EQ, doesn't matter. And now I believe I'm supposed to draw some conclusion here, but telling you the truth, I'm not sure that even after spending so much time using each and every one of these buds, I could definitely tell you which one to buy and why. There are a few things I like in every single one of them, and there are some others I do not like that much, but at the end of the day, it's only my personal opinion anyway. What I will do now is quickly summarize what I was talking about in the last 20-30 minutes or so, and I leave it to you to decide which one of these earbuds you like the most. So starting with the most expensive of them all, the Klipsch T5 Mark II McLaren edition. They have a unique design, especially the case, and there is an abundance of accessories in the box, including the wireless charging pad and some special extras. Their energetic sound is perfectly tailored for workouts, but you have to be careful what source you are using them with to avoid compression issues. The Klipsch buds deliver the longest battery life, and they also provide the best passive noise isolation, so you won't miss the active noise cancelling that much, even in a crowded gym. However, the Klipsch Connect app has not much to offer, and the physical controls could use some further tweaking as well. And there are some inconsistencies in terms of their connection, which I found a bit frustrating at times. The Klipsch T5 Mark II McLaren edition is like a young race car driver with a lot of talent and skills who just signed a contract with a brand new team, but together they have a lot of fine-tuning to do before they can start winning races. Next up, the Jabra Elite Active 75T. Well, they are the smallest and lightest, yet they come in close second in the battery life test and win in almost every other department. They are in front of the pack in terms of both the physical controls and the software features and configuring options. The Jabras now have active noise cancelling as well, which might not be as good as same on the Sony, but it's better than the others since they don't have ANC at all. These are the only earbuds with multi-point support, so if that's a deal breaker for you, then you have no other option really. The only department where the Jabra cannot compete with the others is the sound quality, which is a shame because the 75T built up a nice advantage early on in the race and it only blew up before it could get to the finish line. Just like an unexperienced marathon runner who has the speed and stamina but needs some fundamental tactical changes to take its talent to the next level and get on the podium. Moving on to the Jaybird Vista, it does not particularly stand out in any area, but it delivers on every front quietly without drawing too much attention to itself. Their battery life is not the best, but they sit in your ears very securely and their low-profile design makes them disappear during a workout. Their durability has been proven over the last year of heavy use too. They also sound very good by default, but with the custom EQ you can tailor their sound to your taste. The physical controls do their job perfectly fine, and the app offers plenty of useful, interesting and unique features. It is a real workhorse, like a water carrier on the Tour de France. You can ask it to do anything and anytime, and they will deliver results regardless of the circumstances. Every manager wants a guy or two like this on their team. The Sony WF-SP800Ns are probably the most well-rounded earbuds of them all. Design and fit? Check. Great touch controls? Check. Loads of app features and custom options? Check. It also has an outstanding battery life and it comes with customizable active noise cancelling, which makes it a perfect choice for everyday use. And apart from a few software limitations, I couldn't find any major issues with these earbuds. On top of all that, I like their sound too. It's always energizing and enjoyable listening to these guys. The SP800 is an all-rounder athlete with many skills. It has quite a stamina and a strong, focused mindset. It is like a mature Ironman or long-distance triathlete and therefore a kind of a winner in my eyes. And last but certainly not the least, the Bose Sport earbuds. These are the best sounding of all true wireless earbuds as of today, period. But this is the only skill these buds have and they cannot really flex any other muscle, if you know what I mean. I like how comfortable they are, but for most of you the smaller size and the lower profile design of the Jaybird Vista or the Jabra 75T could be a better choice. And beside all that, there is the mediocre battery life, the limited controls and the lacking app, and that is all the Bose buds can offer to complement their brilliant sound. And even though the sound quality is important and I'm a big fan of it, it's not enough to have one and only one feature you are satisfied with, especially if you spend €200 or dollars on a pair of earbuds. To continue with the sport talk, this is our talented young football player, a star in the making if you will, with a lot of talent, but it needs to learn and train a lot before it can become a true star. And this is the point where this shootout of the 5 best true wireless sport earbuds has to come to an end. I could go on for hours talking about the buds, but if you like to learn more about any of them, you can watch my individual reviews instead. Links are in the description. There are also affiliate links with up-to-date prices. If you want to buy any of them, just click on the links and support my channel at the same time. Also, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm sure you have questions as well, so feel free to ask them in the comments below. I'm working on more videos like this and I will keep you guys updated about what's coming in the following weeks. And as always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit through this video. I hope to see you in the next one as well.